That is the title of this video. F the patriarchy. You guys know me. I curse a lot, but I didn't want to start out with that. But honestly, it is time for us to start her story. It's not history anymore, it's her story. It is time for the divine feminine to start rising, for the matriarchy to start rising. We are living thousands of years with the patriarchy in charge, and it's time for a effing change. It is time for an effing change. And it's really interesting that a whole bunch of dudes just joined and just left after I said that. So clearly we have an issue. I am sure that you guys are tired. I really don't think you realize, first of all, I'm super angry right now, so please allow me to just be rageful right now. We literally have been repressed for thousands of years. I just had this conversation over the past week with several different women, several matriarchies of families, and I'm starting to realize why all of this shitty stuff happens to me in my life, and it has led me to this space and time that just so happens to be today is Women's History Month. It is the start of Women's History Month, and as you can see, it says history, right? His story. His story. How I'm so infuriated that we have been telling his story for thousands of years. And you should be upset too, because really it's led you to this space in time. It has led you to where we think that we are free as women, where we think that we have made massive changes and things like that, and we have not. It is clear that it's only been over the past 100 years that women have actually stepped into their power and said, we are sick and tired of being sick and tired of being repressed, of being basically slaves to men themselves, right? And I hate to say it this way, but that is the God honest truth, is that our powers have been repressed, who we are have been repressed for thousands of years. And unfortunately, it has been controlled by all types of religions all over the globe. And if you really look into all kinds of religions, and this is not to, if you believe in something, that's awesome, I'm proud of you, but I want you to take a really hard look about how religion has kept us under control, that we are unworthy as women, that we are inferior to the man, right? That we have to fall in line, that we have to serve the man, right? That we have to be that person that is constantly catering to the man, that we have to sit nice and look pretty. And it really has crushed our souls, right? Crushed us as women for thousands of years. It's actually that the patriarchy is actually, it's more like a women's genocide we're going through, right? And we have been going through that for years. Even the Salem witch trials, where they were killing witches, which really was, they were just killing women who were powerful, who stood up for what they believed in, right? Who embodied the feminine in them, right? Who said, no, this isn't right what you're doing, right? And they killed the men who supported these women who were standing strong, right? And this is really what's been going on for thousands of years. And religion has kept us stuck in this really shitty world that we're living in. And if you can tell, it's coming to an end, right? The patriarchy, the foundation is being shaken right now. It's this year is all about breaking the foundation, right? The tower and tarot, it's the tower card, right? So as women, we are rising up, and now you're seeing more and more coaches, right? You're seeing more and more women who are trying to help moms, right? Who are trying to empower women, who have self-love coaching programs, who have intuitive coaching programs. There are more and more women who are standing up and saying, no, this is not okay. Women need to be empowered. Women need support. Women need support of other women. And we got to stop judging other women. We actually have to come together. Things like the Me Too movement, right? We are still seeing sexual harassment charges. We are still seeing women going to jail for killing the person who's been abusing them for years in self-defense. We are still seeing that women are not being believed, right? That they're coming forward and they're saying, this happened to me. And people are still like, no, it didn't. It's your own fault. You dress too sexy. You put on a sexy face. You did this, you did that, and they're not being heard. We are still in a place where moms like me, right? We have children. We are not being supported postpartum. We are not getting the care and support that we need to be successful, to thrive, to feel really good. It is actually, the entire world is designed to make sure that women fail, to make sure that they stay stuck, to make sure that they have to rely on a man. It's really interesting, the conversations that I've had with several of you watching, that you feel trapped, you feel stuck, you still feel like you need the knight in shining armor to come and save you. You still feel like you need to rely on a man to be able to do things. You still feel like you are looking outside to make sure that you have that family, that perfect husband, this perfect person, this man that's going to come in and save you and make you feel loved and make you feel supported and really help you to achieve your goals. But the truth is, you don't need anybody. You don't need no man to help you do anything. And if anybody's learned that, that is me and the women that have reached out to me, is that you need to start taking care of you. The system is not designed to teach women how to be independent, to be self-reliant, to be proud of themselves, to be brave, to step up for what they want, to say what they want, to do what they want. They don't want us to know that we have so much power. And unfortunately, again, this has been going on for thousands of years. And part of that is the religious structures, the political structures. It is designed to ensure that females do not succeed. And this has to change. This has to come to an end, and we need to start rising up and realize that we are worth it. Women are worth it, and we need to stop falling in line. We need to stop letting men define what we do with our lives. And I know some of you are going to be rattled and be like, well, we've come so far. We can vote. We can do this. Well, just up until the 70s or 80s, women couldn't even get a mortgage. It was embarrassing to get a divorce. We still have issues with our own body, deciding whether or not we want an abortion or not, or we want to be on birth control. We still are getting suppressed in us saying we're married to a narcissist, or we're in an abusive relationship, or someone sexually harassed us, right? There's still people, and those people are men that are telling us that we are lying, right? That something's wrong with us, that we deserved this situation, right? But that's not the truth of it. We are able to speak our truth, and it's time that we start speaking our truth. So I will give you an example in your own personal life, right? We can't go out, well, we can go and change the world, and my hope is that I'm enticing you to do that for other women and show them that they can be empowered, that they can speak up for their beliefs, that they can stand up for themselves, that we can start a revolution, a change, a really big change that hasn't happened for thousands of years. So in your personal life, if you are struggling in a relationship and you're starting to realize that you are in a narcissistic, abusive relationship, or you're in a domestic violence situation, or the man is treating you less than, I need you to ask yourself a question. Why are you in that position? I was in that position. Why are you in that position? Do you know why? Because you don't think that you're worthy of something better. You're afraid to speak up for what you want and need. You're afraid that you're going to be abandoned, that people are going to judge you, right? That they're going to call you names, that your perfect life isn't really your perfect life, okay? And you're afraid that your friends won't be there for you in the end, that you're not going to survive without a man, that there's no way you're going to be able to make the money that you want, do what you want, that you're not going to be able to get off on your feet, okay? I'm going to tell you from personal experience, I don't care if you are 16, if you are 21, or you're 65. You can fucking do it, okay? You do not need this person. This person that treats you like shit, you don't need. You don't need. Okay, I understand it's scary. Nobody taught you that it's okay to walk away from a situation that is not for your highest good. Nobody taught you it's okay to say, you know what, I fucked up. I got in a shitty relationship and I stayed. Nobody taught you that, right? Nobody taught you to stand up to the person that you're with and say, you know what, this isn't for me, I'm leaving. I'm not your mother, right? I'm leaving. I'm not here to fix you. I'm leaving. You're not supporting me. I'm leaving. Nobody taught you these things. And in fact, nobody taught you how to be your own knight in shining armor, how to save yourself, how to be financially stable, how to be financially secure, how to go for your goals, how to go for the job, right? How to go for the help. No one taught you how to do this. So none of this is your fault. It is society as a whole's fault, right? But we can't continue to blame them. We have to start making a change. We have to start seeing that there's an issue with what's going on in the world. In fact, in many, many countries, women still aren't allowed to go to school, right? Why is that? Women still aren't allowed to leave their husbands. They can't get a divorce. Women still aren't allowed to wear whatever they want and say what they want. Women are not allowed to accuse another man of something. They'll be killed. This is still happening. So whether or not you believe it, it is still happening all over the world. And in America as well, right? We are taught to be sexy, but not sexy enough, right? We're taught to speak up, but don't be a bitch. We're taught to be brave, but don't be too brave, right? We're taught to make money, but not more money than our spouse. We're taught to, have children, but don't have a job, right? Or only have a little job. Don't have other people raise your children, right? We're taught so many negative things that it's almost like we have to be perfect, but we can't be perfect, right? We have to be brave, but we can't be too brave. So it's literally, we're living in a world of paradoxical craziness, right? That doesn't make any sense. So what we have to do as women in general is we really have to rise up and say, this is not working. We need to start this revolution and say, you know what, we're not getting the care and support that we need and deserve. And in fact, our daughters are not receiving the right information from society. They're not receiving the information that is going to teach them to be brave, teach them to be self-reliant, teach them what toxic relationships are, teach them what it's like to be a mom and how to get through that. What is it like to have a healthy relationship? We are not taught nearly enough of how to be our own best hero, how to be our own best knight in shining armor, how to support ourselves, and to realize that we don't need men to do that. We don't, right? And unfortunately, I was watching the news yesterday, and Governor Cuomo, obviously has sexual harassment charges against him. And in fact, Biden had it as well. I'm not getting into politics, but I'm just saying that there are women that are finally speaking out about something, and the news is trying to tell you that it's fine, everything. Even Trump had sexual harassment charges against him. It's everywhere. It's in politics. It's in the workplace. It's everywhere. And women are afraid to speak out because when they do speak out, they're shut down. They're told that what they're saying is a lie. They made this up. When in fact, it's just the men, the patriarchy, that are trying to keep it the same. And it's no longer going to be the same. This is what's happening astrologically. It's no longer going to be the same. So we need to get on the same page. We need to start believing each other, the other woman, right? Creating this bond, this sisterhood, this space and time where we are supporting other women. We're not judging them, okay? If they said that something happened in the workplace, or their husband did this, or their ex did that, like, we need to start believing them, because women need a space to open up, to be vulnerable, to say, this is what happened to me. I don't feel good about the situation, and I need women to support me so other women can say, this happened to me, that happened to me. Do you know the biggest thing that I was so afraid of with my postpartum depression, anxiety, and my narcissistic abusive relationship was that other women were going to judge me. That other women were going to say, well, you got yourself into this situation, right? Or they were going to shame me for being sad that I had a baby, or being sad that I was in a narcissistic abusive relationship, or that I got into it to begin with. I was so scared that so many women were going to shame me. Not so much men, I could give two shits about them, but that women were going to shame me. And finally, when I started sharing my story, sharing what I was going through, and actually telling people the truth, like, this is what happened, like, it sucked, I didn't know what to do, and I didn't tell any of my friends. That was the biggest mistake I did. When I was in a terrible relationship, instead of telling my girlfriends what was really going on, I pretended that I was in a perfect relationship. I pretended that I was in a perfect relationship in fear of being judged. When I had postpartum depression, anxiety, I didn't tell my friends that I had it. I pretended that I was happy, and the truth was I was not. That was the biggest mistake I did, was not confiding in other women, not telling other women my stories. When I finally started sharing my story, when I finally told my friends what was going on, they responded with, oh my God, that happened to me too. Oh my God, I'm so sorry to hear that. Oh my God, I feel the same way. Oh my God, I feel like I can't talk about this. Oh my God, I feel like something's wrong with me. Oh my God, I went through this too. This happened to me. It's not your fault. Everything's going to be okay. So women, unfortunately, if you haven't read this book, you got to go read it. It's called Witch. Also, another book you got to read is called Be Brave, Not Perfect. It is severe women's empowerment, and you will see how much we have been basically brainwashed to not tell other females how we feel, what we're going through, to not confide in the sisterhood, right? To confide only in men and the patriarchy, and really to look for their validation, not our sisterhood. And that's a really sad thing. So if you are going through something right now, I want to challenge you to tell your girlfriends what you're going through. Keep in mind, if they judge you, they are not the right friends, okay? I want you to start confiding in women. I want you to find a women's circle, a circle of friends that are here to really help you dig deep, help you grow. If your relationships with your friends are superficial and you're talking about reality TV shows and things like that, I'm not going to knock you, but you need to go deeper from the surface. You need to start talking about the things that are going on in your relationships, the things are going on in the workplace that are not okay. The fact that maybe you can't speak up for yourself, that you're having trouble saying no, right? Unfortunately, women as a whole, what I'm starting to realize is we are all taught to be codependent, and it's time that we're taught to be independent and dependent only on ourselves. And this starts with our daughters, right? And it starts mostly with ourselves, teaching ourselves that we can be dependent on just us, right? We can be independent, and other women around us can help us do that. The biggest I made lots of freaking mistakes, but one really big mistake I made that I didn't realize what was happening was that right after college, instead of moving in with a group of girls, I moved in with my partner at the time, right? And instead of spending time growing my life, right, going for the career, going for the money, building my own house, my own stuff, taking care of myself, I moved in with my partner, right, my boyfriend at the time. And instead of taking care of me, I took care of him. I made sure all of his hopes and dreams, all of his goals were going to be okay, that he was going to be able to support us. And that was a huge mistake, because what I didn't realize was that if I had moved in with females, right, and we were all doing our own thing, and we were, what's the word? Kind of like Sex and the City, right? Where we're empowering each other, where we're working, where we're feeling really good, where we're buying our stuff, right? We're doing our shit. We're creating the life that we want together, but separate. That would have taught me that I don't need a man to help make me happy, right? I don't need a man to take responsibility for my life and to take care of me and be there for me. I don't need him, right? I need myself. It would have taught me that it's okay to make my own money, right? It's okay to be powerful. It's okay to be brave. It's okay to rise above that. It would also taught me what a healthy relationship is, right? And how to not be codependent, right? How to be dependent on me, and everything else is just an extra happiness, right? How to be happy for who I am and what makes me happy, what hobbies I like, and things like that. A lot of us women follow men around the country, right? You're in a relationship and you follow the man because he makes more money, and maybe you have kids together, and you keep going around the country, or you keep going for his hopes and dreams, and you keep supporting him and helping him achieve his goals and things like that. Well, what about you? What about your goals? What about your hopes and dreams? What about what you want to do? What if you don't want to do that anymore? What if you don't want to follow your partner around the country? What if you don't want to do that, right? You're stuck. You feel trapped, right? But the truth is, you aren't trapped inside your head, right? Because the world tells you this is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to support your husband or your partner, right? But are they supporting you in their hopes and dreams? Are they stopping their career goals so that you can go and have yours? Are they changing your life? Changing their life so that you can change yours? No. Very many of us don't realize how much we really truly are subconsciously controlled by men in what we do. And we're afraid to say, no, I'm not doing this anymore. I'll give you an example. My client, Kylene, I loved her. She was in a army relationship, right? She was, what's the word? Army wife, I guess you can call. And when you get, not knocking any army wives, God bless your souls, I couldn't do that. But she followed him all around the world, right? And they had kids together, and he went off, and, she had to raise the kids by herself, and he came back and whatnot. And what transpired after that was that she finally realized she didn't need a man to help her, right? To provide for her. And what she also realized is that she no longer wanted to follow him around, that she had put her hopes and dreams, her life on the side for her husband and her kids. And she was tired of it. So she eventually, from working with me, realized that she could just say, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not. I don't like it. I'm not happy. You're not helping. This is not working. It's time for me to pursue my hopes and dreams. And if you're going to support me, that's great. You can stay. And if you're not, there's the fucking door. Okay. That's what we need to start doing as women is there's the door. Okay. You need to get so empowered and so in your goddess, your divine feminine strength that you can say to a man or a woman, depending upon who you're dating, right? That no, there's the door. If you're not here to support me, right? In a healthy way, not financially, right? Not in the sense of that this person came in and saved you. If they're going to support you and say, go for your goals, do it. I'm behind you. I will help out with the kids. I will help out with the house. I will help cook. I will help this. If that person is not there to help you, then there's the fucking door. Because you deserve better. It's fucking scary. I remember the day I told my husband that there was the door. It was so empowering to say, you know what? I don't need you. I don't need you to be happy. I don't need you to support me financially. I don't need you to cook. I don't need you to watch my kid. I don't need you to do anything for me. I'm going to do that for myself because you are not supporting me through this. You are not supporting my hopes and dreams. And I've been damn supporting your stuff for 12 fucking years, right? So if you don't have that person in your life, it is time for them to leave. It is time for you to say, you know what? It's okay. I'm going to make it. It's scary. It's scary. For me to leave a 12-year relationship, it scared the fucking shit out of me. How the heck was I going to survive? Where was the money going to come from? I didn't have a career, right? I didn't have that stable environment. I didn't even have any hobbies. I didn't even know what kind of side of the bed I wanted to sleep on. I was estranged from my family and my friends because of this fucked up relationship that I thought was great for me. But finally I realized it was not. It was not good for me. And when I told him there was the door, it was the best decision I ever made. And I took a leap. Right? I didn't know if I was going to survive. I didn't know if there was going to be a house to live in, a career to go to, a job to go to. I didn't know what was going to happen. I just knew this wasn't good for me anymore. And it was time for me to choose me. It was time for me to say, this is what I want out of life. This is what I want to do. You know what? I want to be independent. You know, I was watching on Instagram the other day, and there was this photo of this video of this woman who was like, showed a man's house, right? A stable 32-year-old, and how wonderful it was. He had made a life for himself, and he has this wonderful house, and he's got lots of money, and how that is so attractive to a woman. Excuse me, I'm jumbling my words. And in reality, I was like, yes, that is very attractive, right? Why don't we want that for ourselves? Why do we want to find a man that has it all together? Why? Do we have it all together? Do we have the house that we want? The career that we want? Do we have the hobbies that we want? The friends that we want? Do we have that? No. Stop chasing the man who's quote unquote has it all together, or trying to fix the man that doesn't have it together, and start focusing on you, right? And what you want out of life. In my mind, I finally see I want to have my own place. I want to have my own hobbies, my own friends. I want to do my own thing. I want to go to the store and not be like, oh shit, do I have to ask permission to buy this? Like, fuck that. I don't need permission to do jack shit. Right? But it took me 12 years to realize I don't need nobody's permission to go and do whatever the hell I want. And that it's safe for me to be independent. It's safe for me to have a career and to make more money than somebody else. It is safe for me to have my own space and not be reliant on somebody else. It's safe for me to just be with me, that I don't need a relationship. I don't need other people. But it takes years to figure that out. So what I'm trying to do is entice you to realize that you don't need the patriarchy and the men to make you who you are. You have to decide that you want more for yourself. You have to leave the toxic relationship. You have to go for the job. You have to stop searching for love in every single person that you meet. You have to start loving yourself, standing up for yourself, tapping into your divine feminine, and taking that step and being brave like we talked about. You have to decide that this is what's right for you. I can't decide it for you. It took me 12 years. It might take you a day. It might take you another 12 years. But as sure as hell, the universe is going to keep smacking you with a whole bunch of shit until you realize it's time to choose you. It's time to choose other women. It's time to empower other women, right? You got to stop saying that people are sluts, right? Or that girls are too much or not enough or whatever. You have to stand beside the women that are suffering, the women who are doing well, right? If it wasn't for these women in the 1920s, right, all the way till now, it's been 100 years, right, that have been saying, no, it's time for women to step up. It's time for us to have our own jobs. It's time for us to have a mortgage, to be able to get a divorce, to have a credit card. Like, 40 years ago, you couldn't have a credit card as a woman. You couldn't even have a legitimate house, a mortgage. You couldn't have a mortgage 40 years ago. That is unacceptable. I want you to do a couple things. I want you to watch this show on Netflix, okay? It is called Unorthodox, okay? Not if you're Orthodox, like it's nothing towards that. But it will give you a sense of how unempowered women are, right? And how much religion has really controlled us and kept us stuck, right? That we aren't allowed to be ourselves. We can't stand up. We can't do anything, and that we have to stay stuck. Watch that. I also want to tell you, if you watch Bridgerton, I love Bridgerton, but I want you just to really watch it again or look at it from the fact that these women were married off. They were taught to be the perfect woman, perfect wife for men, right? They weren't taught about their body. They weren't taught about sexuality or their period or anything. And men were going around in the friggin' brothels and sleeping with God only knows who, right? And that is unfortunately what religion has taught us, that women have to be this pure thing, right? We have to be the perfect wife, be the perfect mother. Enjoy the fact that men are in charge, right? And be subservient to them. In Bridgerton, it really shows you how much women were controlled, right? And that's just recently. That's over the 200 years, right? Now go back 4,000 years, right? How much we really are controlled, and we're not taught about our body in the way that we should be, or that men can go and do whatever they want. They could be players, they could sleep around, but we can't. There's so many double standards, it's absolutely ridiculous. So as my anger is dying down, and I just take a breath here for you, notice all the signs around society about how women should be, right? And a silly example, I love Britney Spears, right? I want you to go back and listen to her songs. I want you to listen to Toxic, Baby Hit Me One More Time, right? I'm a Slave for You. I want you to listen to all the songs that she's ever sang. And I want you to look at it as I lost my internet connection. I want you to listen to the songs that she sang and how much it is teaching young girls to be in toxic relationships, abusive relationships. Unfortunately, you will never listen to a Britney Spears song again without hearing this. So I'm so sorry about that. But you will hear that it's actually set up all around us in the shows that we watch, in the music that we listen to, that women don't deserve better, that we are supposed to be in toxic relationships, that we're supposed to be slaves for people, that it's not safe for us to speak out. Okay, and then I want you to go and start listening to some women's empowerment music. Destiny's Child has so many women's empowerment music. I want you to see the difference of every single thing that you watch on TV. Now, you guys, I don't know if you know Reese Witherspoon, but obviously you do, but she started, I think it's a women's production company where she produces lots of women's TV shows and movies and things like that. So this is happening. We are rising up, but not enough. I want you to see that the movies that we watch, what we see, it's all based on the patriarchy, right? The men and what they think is okay. Now, when women start rising and they start realizing that more women's stories, her stories, need to be told, right? Because his story is told by a man, right? And they're telling our stories. They're telling our history. They're writing our religious textbooks, things like that. Her story needs to be told. Your story needs to be told. It needs to be shared. You need to see that other women have gone through similar things. So start realizing it, and every single day that society is not set up for women to be successful. It's just not. It's not successful as girls, right? The beauty industry telling women that they need plastic surgery to feel good, to look good for men. They tell you that it's so that you look good for yourself, but really they're telling you it's so that you look good for men. The body weight industry, right? That you need to be thin. You need to be thin so you can get a man. You don't need to be thin to freaking do anything. If you want to be thin, that's because of you, because you want to feel comfortable in your own skin, not because of them. The makeup industry is designed to make you feel bad about yourself. Literally everything that is quote unquote somewhat women's empowerment is designed to make you feel bad about yourself. It's designed to keep you stuck, that you need to constantly look for outside validation, that you need to make sure that you're looking good for men, even if you don't consciously see it. After I've said this to you, you're going to start noticing it in every single commercial, every single thing that's posted, every movie you've ever watched. It is designed so that we stay stuck, that we don't rise above and start realizing what's happening, that we're being brainwashed since 4,000, 5,000, 10,000 years ago to stay stuck. Start noticing those signs as you become aware of the fact that he is telling his story. You will start becoming aware of the her, right? She, the girls who are telling their stories, their rough stories, their stories of empowerment. And you will start to see that it's time that we become dependent on ourselves, that we start becoming independent of the patriarchy, that we start teaching young girls to be brave, to do the unthinkable, to be a bitch, right? To really stand up and be assertive. If you're getting a cat call on the street, like, that's not okay anymore. And if you still feel like you can't turn around and be like, fuck you, leave me alone, there's an issue there, right? Why are we not standing up? Why don't we say what is on our mind, what we are thinking, that somebody is rude, that somebody is condescending, that we don't like this, or that we want this, we want more money, we want that job, we want this support. Why can't we do this? Okay, we can. We just have been programmed to believe that we cannot. So with all that being said, there are some things that you need to do. Look up the mother wound, okay? The mother wound, it really talks about the wound that you have with your mother, okay? And the mothers that come before that. This is like an ancestral healing thing. But it's really about healing the programming from the patriarchy, right? Because our mothers and their mothers have been taught to fall in line, okay? To look pretty, to be seen, not heard, to serve, and to stand by a man. And so they have taught us to do the same. And unfortunately, it is not for our best interest. It is not their fault. It is not their fault that they were told these things. To be virgins, to not have sex, to not have kids out of wedlock, to allow a man to go and sleep around. And if he is, it's your fault that he left you and cheated and slept around. It's like some fucking fucked up bullshit that they were taught, and their ancestors and so on and so forth. Look up the mother wound, how to heal that, how to really find the power to start healing the wounds of our ancestors that have taught us that we aren't good enough, that we aren't worthy enough, that we can't be seen, that what we say doesn't matter, that no one will believe us. You need to start healing that so that you can do something similar to me. Stand up, start talking, go get that job, start that nonprofit, start that business, really stand in your truth, stand up to your ex, stand up to your husband, stand up to your wife, whatever you're doing, heal that mother wound so that you can feel the power within you. You are way more powerful than you freaking realize. Heal the wounds so that you can stand firm and grounded and know that you don't need the validation of men and that the system is broken and we as women need to fix it. We need to fix the domestic violence situations. We need to fix the sexual harassment situations. We need to fix the mother care that's going on in the world, the way young girls are being raised. This all needs to change, and it starts with changing from within first and then enticing the change for people outside of us, okay? But it can only start within. Once you grab that power, once you hold on to that power and realize this isn't working, I don't care where you are in the world. You know that there's an issue wherever you are, especially if you're in a third world country. If you're in a third world country or a country that's run purely by religion, like, those women are screwed. They're freaking trapped right now. They are trapped, and there's no one there to help them. And they know that there's an issue, and they can't get out, right? Because they'll be killed. They'll be imprisoned, right? How is that okay? None of that is okay. Just because we live in America and we think that women are free and we think that women are empowered doesn't mean that they actually are, and certainly doesn't mean that around the world that they are. Start changing from within. Find your power. Find why you want to be independent, why you want to be dependent on yourself. And if you haven't been dependent on yourself, why is that? If you're still looking for that knight in shining armor to come and save you, the guy with all the money and the fame and the fortune and da da da, why is it that you're still searching for that? Why can't you do that for you? Why can't you be that millionaire? Why can't you be that knight in shining armor and save yourself? Ask yourself that. You don't think you can do it? You can. You're afraid that you'll fail? So what? I failed thousands of times, probably still going to fail thousands of times. You learn one way not to do something, or thousands of ways not to do something. Find why you're still stuck, why you're still in this shitty relationship. Why are you allowing people to treat you so poorly? Why are you allowing yourself to feel guilty, right, for speaking your truth, speaking your opinion, standing up for your beliefs? Why do you feel guilty about that? You shouldn't feel guilty. It is safe for you to speak your truth. It is safe for you to stand firm in what you believe in. And if things are not working, fix them. Make them work for you. Make them work for you. If this person isn't for you, goodbye. If these friends aren't for you, goodbye. This job's not for you, goodbye. You deserve the world. You deserve everything. All the money. All of the love. You are so worthy of everything this universe has to offer. You just have to believe it yourself. And you need to stop taking the shit from other people. Stop looking for the outside validation and start standing firm in who you are. You're not okay with this. You don't believe in this. You want this. You want that. And go and get it. Go and get it. And then for those of you who are mothers, teach this to your daughters. Teach your daughters what an abusive relationship looks like, whether it's mental or physical abuse. Teach your daughters to be self-reliant. Teach them to learn how to take care of themselves, to find the job, to work their finances, right? To be able to budget, to be able to stand up to men who are, ragging them or being mean to them or using their power over them. Teach them to speak out about things that we consider secret. We don't want people to know that we're being abused. We don't want people to know that. No, you want people to know that this is happening so that other women can rise up and fight against, right? These movements that are happening, they're going to keep happening because this is no longer okay. It's not okay. It's not all right that we elected some crazy man into our society who talks about grabbing women by the pussy. Like, that's not okay. That's not okay. It's not okay that we still believe that men are going to come and save us. They're not. In fact, they're hurting us. Right? And this is not all men. There are very many men who want to be supportive of women and who in fact are. Right? And they support us in a very loving and empowering way where they're teaching you to be you. They encourage your independence. They encourage you to go for your dreams, to go for your hobbies, to do your own thing, that you don't need to be connected at the hip. They are helping you do this. There are plenty of men who raise their kids alongside their wife, right? Who cook, who clean, who do all that. There are men out there. So this is not that all men are bad, right? This is not that. It's just that the men that have been in power for centuries or, millennia, right? They are keeping us stuck, and those men are not great men, right? Because they're afraid to lose control. They're afraid of what happens when women start rising and people start knowing the truth that women are supposed to be empowered, that women are the ones that are going to change the world, and it's not the men. They're scared. They're afraid they're going to lose ground, that they're going to lose power, right? So let's show them, right, that it's okay to let the patriarchy fall. It's okay. But you got to start from within first. Okay? Thank you all so much for joining today. I hope this was helpful. I really hope that this inspired you to make a change within yourself, and stop dealing with less than. Right? You are worthy and deserving of everything this world has to offer you. Start making a change. Start within. Okay? And share this. Share this with other women. Share what you've learned here. And I will continue this whole month to share women's empowerment stories so that you can see that we are still not where we need to be, and we have to keep moving. Okay? I'm sending you so much light and love. Till next time.